All right. Hello again from Benakawan, Bagak, Philippines. It's been a while since I did a video. Um, it's fun doing a video, just sharing with family and friends and whoever else finds this interesting, or if they learn something off of it. About the Philippines, my experiences. I've been here a year, but I've done videos on that. I can't get them to upload, they're too long. So I'm going to talk fast and go over a subject that I've been dealing with, and that's trying to find a hot rod or a motorcycle or something that a retiree guy would enjoy here in the Philippines. I've looked high and low, started off looking for hot rods. I couldn't find anything. The closest I found was a Manila. It's a 67 Mustang. It was a manual, I believe it was a 4-speed. It had a 302 engine in it, but it had rust. And rust in places that I don't want to try to fix. So I did a 65 back home, replaced all the floor pans, the trunk, deck, and rear subframes. I don't want to do that again. I don't think I get all those parts here in the Philippines anyway. So I bought my son's 1996 Honda Civic, and I messed with that for a while. It was an extremely fun car, all 85, 90 horsepower of it. But it was a manual, and it was great, and it was a lot of fun driving around these hills up by where we live. But I just got kind of bored of it. I had probably a couple of grand in it. I had a lot of stuff fixed, windows fixed, air conditioning fixed, horn rewired. I repaired some rust on the front strut tower, new tires, radio. I could go on and on. But anyway, he's getting married. So I was getting a little tired of the Civic. So I talked to the wife, and we gave that to him for a early wedding present. And he's got a baby on the way. He's starting a new business. So he's pretty much sold everything he's had. He sold his car to me for money, sold his scooter to make more money. He's building this business on some property they have, and he's real proud of him. He's doing a great job. So we gave him the Civic, which left me without a toy. So I resumed my shopping for a hot rod. Side note, my father passed away, and he left me a couple Studebakers, and anyway, there was some money involved, so I thought I'd honor him and move away from the Japanese car, because he was a diehard UAW. Funny story my mom tells is that there's a couple couples out, my mom, dad, and one of their friends, and just after they got married, late 50s, early 60s, and it was Christmas Eve, excuse me. They were leaving the restaurant, and some guy came up and said, "Hey buddy, can you give me a jump start?" My dad said, "Sure." He drove over, and there was a Datsun with the hood up. My dad just cracked the window and said, "You need to go find a Japanese person to give you a jump start," and drove off. So that story's always stuck with me. That's how he was. It was UAW, Buy American, which over here is a little difficult, but I was going to try. And man, you can't buy anything over here unless you're going to spend $40,000. You figure by the time somebody gets it imported into the Philippines, they've already probably got $20,000 to $30,000 in it. I'm going off of one evaluation I did when I was looking at bringing my Mustang to the Philippines, and it was like $10,000 for the container. And there was, by the time it got delivered to me and paid all the tariffs and the VAT taxes, it was right around $30,000. And I stopped exploring that option. So I'm sure there's stories out there of people paying way less, but so you figure anytime you get something from the United States here, somebody paid all those fees, and that's reflected in the price of the car or motorcycle, as I found out. So I looked, I did, I looked all over, and my wife told me do not buy anything from Manila, because just her opinion, and I agree with her, that there's a lot of things around here that get flooded. A lot of vehicles get flooded, a lot of floods. And there's a lot of shenanigans that go on in the big city of Manila that you don't see around here as much. So I wasn't going to buy anything from Manila. So I looked high and low. I couldn't find anything. We're talking, a newer Mustang, $100,000 here. It's ridiculous. So, a nice Mustang. I just saw a beautiful '67, $60,000. I mean, I ain't gonna pay that. So, kind of moved on from an automobile or a hot rod, and I started looking at bikes. And if you're gonna get a American-made bike, you're gonna get a Harley. So I was looking for Harleys, and I found one. It was a 2013 Dyna White Glide. Beautiful. This guy, it was an American that lives up in Clark, and he restores bikes and sells them. And it does have that premium attached to it. Although this bike, I found out, and this may be interesting, I never knew this, is that the first letter on the Harley VIN number, first number, excuse me, in the US Harley is a 1 HD. And then the rest of the numbers. But this bike I was looking at was a 3 HD. And this guy told me, because this thing was made in Thailand, and it was imported from Thailand. So I didn't realize, I guess like anywhere else, Harley has its motorcycles made around the world. So I'm assuming there's a 2, probably Mexico, and I don't know if there's a 4, 5, and a 6, but this one was a 3, which was Thailand, or maybe Asia. But that first, it's like a kick in the stomach, because I'm trying to buy American, because I'm using money my father gave me, and I want to get something American that he would get. So that deal kind of fell apart. A couple other issues, but in the back of my throat, I just had a hard time swallowing, thinking I was driving around a Harley made in Asia. So I looked on, and I found a 2000 Harley-Davidson Heritage, a Softail Heritage Classic that was shipped in from the United States, and it was on about its 4th owner here. The guy who bought it from he was Australian, so his mate had it for a while, and unfortunately he passed away of cancer. So this guy has had this bike for about 6 or 7 years. Really didn't ride it that much. Just pretty much was, I think, sentimental to him. He had other bikes, but so I bought it from him. And I'll put some pictures in at the end, because I can't edit and put them in now and keep talking. So I'll put some pictures of the Dyna I looked at, and I put some pictures of the Heritage Softail I ended up buying at the end. But anytime you buy a vehicle here in the Philippines, then you have to sacrifice a day or two to get it in your name. Fortunately, the guy up there in Longapo where I bought this, one of his partners, they did all the run around for me. They took it to the LTO, and which is the Land Traffic Office, pretty much the DMV here, and they did all that stuff up in Longapo. He got it transferred over to my name, and all I had to do was go back up to Longapo and pay the guy, and I get a bill of receipt, 4 copies, and then you give it to him, and then it starts the process. He spent 2 days on it, and then the next day they drove the bike down here for me. And just a side note, I had a Sportster for 15 years. That was a while ago. This place is has areas that is absolutely bananas, and you would be, in my opinion, you would be a fool to drive a motorcycle in those areas. So my goal is to never go to those areas. My goal is to have this bike up here in Begak, where I can go an hour and a half down to Mary Velis on coastal highways, roads where there's minimal traffic. I can go an hour and a half up to Longapo before I hit civilization. Same way, just along the coast, just putting around. That's all I got this for. That's my sole intent. I'm not going to try to be a biker and join some club. I'm going to get on it. I might ride it a couple times a month, and then I'm going to sit in my garage and look at it and have beer. So that was the whole purpose of getting this bike, just something to do and something to put around on, something to enjoy, just kind of clear your mind into a little piece of Americana. But after I bought it, I found out that I have to have a code on my license, just like United States, a motorcycle code. So then I get to go to the LTO, and fortunately, it wasn't as painful as it could have been for me. So you had to go to driver's training and get a certificate. Then you had to go to the LTO and do all their paperwork, do a physical, which is basically an eye test. Then you have to go take another test for street signs and all that. So that was another hoop you got to jump through. So I got the bike. I've already tore all the tins off of it because the bike had skulls all over it. Like I say, there'll be pictures at the end, but it had black skulls airbrushed into the red paint, and it was just too much for me. I couldn't do it. Yeah, I just, so I'm getting it painted a bright red, which it actually is a Toyota red. Don't tell my dad, but that's the only bright red that they had, and I'm getting some Metaflake thrown in it. Just be simple. So I took it down there today, about $200 to do the tank and 2 fenders. Don't know when I'm going to get it back. Not worried about it. I'm not in any hurry. I got stuff to do on the bike. I'm going to wire in some forward and rear like dash cameras for recording, and then I got some other stuff I want to mess around with. This is 2000. It's almost 25 years old, so yeah, give me something to do. That's what I got it for. But I hope help explain if somebody's coming over here and they're hoping to get a hot rod or a motorcycle. You're going to pay a premium. I imagine what I paid on this bike was a $3,000 to $4,000 premium. But that's what it costs if you want something that came from the U.S. on the other side of the world. There was a lot of money went into getting it here, and apparently that price tag always reflects it from person to person. and I can't foresee me ever selling it. I mean, I'm 61 now. There is going to be a point in my life where I'm not going to be able to ride it anymore. I might just do like my dad did with the Studebakers. He told me a long time ago when he couldn't drive them anymore, he said, Michael, I just like having them. They're mine. So, all right, y'all take care. I'll put some pictures at the end. This is when 15 minutes and 30 seconds. I don't even know if I'll be able to upload it anymore. I don't have patience. I got fairly good at it there for a while. But I've made 6, 8, 9 of these little silly videos just talking to a camera, and I can't get them to upload, so who knows? I'll figure it out. But go Chiefs. Hope everybody's safe. God bless. Take care. Later. Enjoy the pictures. Well, there it is. My stripped down Harley Davidson 2000 Heritage Softail Classic. Got few little minor things I'm going to do to it while I got it open. I got to put like a dash cam, front and back cameras on it. Put it right on, the one in the back will be right on the license plate. And then here's the skulls. Scary. They're nice. They look cool. I just don't want to be riding a bike with skulls on it. It's not my thing. So we're going to take it tomorrow to get sanded down and repainted. Ferrari red. It ain't going to be Ferrari red. I couldn't afford that. But it'll be close. Bright red with Metaflake. A little bit of Metaflake. So we will take another video of it after we get it back and put together, and we'll see how many scratches I get with new paint, putting it all back together. All right, later.